Well, welcome to the August 20th meeting of the Eldridge Electric and Water Utility Board. It's 5:01, and we'll call the order.
Gerald,
Here.
Peterson, here, Panovich, here, Hamilton,
Here.
Here by phone.
All right, we're all here. Open the floor to public comment. Looks like you're pretty empty chairs over there. So, on item 3, approval of the agenda tonight. Chance to flip it over.
Motion to approve.
second.
Voice vote.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. Can you hear okay, Mike?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, yep, all right. Item number 4, approval of the utility board meeting minutes from August 6th, 2024. Motion. Motion. Hamilton, second.
Second.
Mitchell. Voice vote.
Aye.
Aye. All passed. Keegan just walked. Okay. Item 5, financial. Consideration to approve bills payable. Any questions? I do, but anybody else? I do not. Okay, on the Cintas, they come around and just bill automatically, or is it something we ask them to do? They replenish the safety boxes and stuff.
I believe they stop by periodically.
They should do it automatically.
For service.
Like it's on their schedule.
Okay, just based on what they were filling with, looks like we know, just kill everybody. It's not
That's it. I think some items expire, so
Oh, did it? Okay, I just wondered about that.
They have to, just Centus does that, like if they're doing safety boxes like that, they have to, just based on.
Okay,
Have effect and
gotcha, okay.
they automatically go through, and like you said,
I just thought we had an injury or something that we didn't notice, or something based on the.
well, if there are stuff like missing out of there, which I'm assuming somebody's recording that, I mean, if somebody's taking a Band-Aid or an aspirin, you have to write that down.
Yeah.
So,
I think they keep the records for them. I don't know if we keep them or just request them if we need them, but.
'Cause you have your
they keep all of
safety.
that for us, part of the contracted services.
Okay, that was one question. Any other questions? Do I have a motion to pay the bills?
Motion.
Second. Motion and voice vote?
Aye.
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 Motion passes to pay the bills. 5B, update on the Dixon Bradshaw Powell and Hagen records.
I have the records, I've went through them, I think, or I would recommend, obviously, that we have a closed session, just so everybody's in here, if they wanna look, Wax is here, if anybody wants to take it again, Craig's went through it. I think we'll have seen some of them, but that's my recommendation.
Sounds like a good idea. Next meeting to discuss that.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, item C, consideration to approve continued leasing or approve purchase of an ice machine for city shop.
Do we have other bids in yet?
Yeah.
Yes, so, the last meeting, the update, you guys asked for additional, quotes for leasing. So I reached out to a couple of companies. I've heard back from 2, and what we're seeing is, the first one is from Star Equipment, for $346.11 a month for a 3-year term. We also got a quote back from Quench. They gave us 3 different options between $350 to $365 a month for a 3-year term. So looking at the current lease that we have, they started us off in 2014 at $125 a month. They do all the services, they maintain it, come out for calls, they change the filter, they take care of all of that. In 2016, we got a new machine. I think we've had the same one since then. But they've stayed $125 a month for
Okay,
9 years, is it now? 10?
yeah,
So they are coming up, I thought, obviously I wasn't here last meeting, I thought in the prior meeting we said they weren't coming and cleaning it.
So they have a annual maintenance agreement that they come out and change the filter for that routine scheduled maintenance, and then they come out for service calls, which is on average about every 3 months, is what Tony and Brian were guessing. And then when they come out to do that, if there needs to be a filter change or something, they're taking care of it at that time, whatever they need to do to get the machine running.
I think that was kind of one of our biggest things too, just making sure it was clean and.
Yeah. Maintained, so that's a. I mean, I don't think it's worth going through and jacking up of rent prices or in, we don't.
I mean, our
think it's a
biggest
lot
thing, I think,
for
was the cleaning and service
Yeah.
and not having.
But if you buy one, sometimes it just so happens,
Well, it's gonna take somebody to maintain it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and they're not gonna take care of it like it's their own. So,
Exactly.
well,
Again.
minute. Just
Take care of the water.
I mean-
Water going, water coming.
That's.
unless you moved it, is, I don't know how, what the area is that it's in, like if it's less dusty, if you moved it to a different area or whatever, but like then you gotta move water line, there's, and that can be kind of dicey too, so
Yeah.
it's probably better to just leave it with the company that we're with,
Mhm.
in my opinion, and let it ride for a while.
Maybe they just ask them to put a sticker or a couple stickers on the side of it that they can log the dates of service. and
Yeah.
the dates of-
Like a dry erase magnetic thing, I mean, we
They
have
should, yeah.
something,
Just something,
Yeah.
back on, just like, I mean, porta potties have them,
yeah.
so I'm sure they could come up with something.
Yeah, okay. So we have a motion to continue the lease then come December and then we should,
Second.
okay, voice vote?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Item 5D, discussion on charging an admin fee on utility bills for covering costs of postage to mail statements. Had, Katie dig in a little bit, there's some software difficulty that may be on putting the admin fee on just postcard. Remedy, but they still seem to gung ho about it as we like, do they doing it or making it work?
Well, she just said to mass add it to the postcards. There's not a way that it separates the mail billing from the email billing, so we have to individually add the fees that we figure.
I mean, do you have it every month or just once and then
Oh, I think it would be until we were,
first time?
it would stay.
Okay. So,
And then we'd have to track to see who would switch and remove that and make sure that they're not getting charged. And there's probably no way to automatically, doing.
when you go in there, confirm the email, you have to go into their billing and switch them over to email.
And then there's just be not remember your
Uh-huh. Hey, I like to eliminate the postage fee that we're paying every month myself.
I mean, things come up about it and I'm just trying to market the idea and. People, there's no reason why they want it. They just want it. I don't care.
Well,
Are you guys gonna charge $5? I don't care.
Yeah.
People don't.
I don't, I get in difference too, sometimes I'll just pay the little card. On the other hand, I don't like everybody seeing the card, because they see what you're spending every month, you can't have both. So,
I agree.
okay, so we continue to pursue that. Get it put on the cards.
So we can find a better way.
I mean, eventually it should go
I
away.
mean, I don't think,
Eventually you're gonna find a better way to do it. So, I mean.
I don't know if it's really feasible right now, just like. Is it adding as the extra work for
Over that.
Sadie and,
probably 5% for that.
I think even the bigger concern, I mean, it will take considerable time, but then trying to track it afterwards is going to be,
Yeah.
because it will have to all be manual, it'd be a bit of a nightmare, I think.
Right. And there's 3 of us in the office.
There's companies that,
Like the program we use at Thinko or Tyler Technologies.
okay, they, what they do, they can do a little better, make it a little easier.
The rep I talked to just said that their mass stat option just.
Really? But they separate utility and, because you have to do that. Even with postcards, you don't have to trigger something every month.
When I'm in the building, yeah, so that's already selected on each account
Okay,
when they get set.
oh, okay, but I'll read that once you open time, it's set for the.
Yep,
Okay.
like JJ, yep.
Well, and we guys just sent out an email recently to customers that were receiving both, trying to prompt them to drop the mailing one. Right?
Right,
And response on that.
and he's just working
Oh,
But I don't know how long ago you guys did that, it was fairly recently. give that some time to, for sure, before, because we may get a lot of people dropping
Yeah.
potentially.
I mean, I even think like, I know we talked earlier on about like even mailing something, but I don't look. That was tonight.
Yeah,
Don't look at it.
so,
Let's think if we can see what our options are. I just think it's
take it.
a lot of upkeep and
Yeah,
for what we're trying to do and.
unless we were to switch or they were updating a system or a program on it and stuff, and they were rewriting a program and coming up with new software, you know, that they could add to later if we can put in a request,
Yeah.
you know,
Be good budget for, I mean, maybe a software fee to do it. Or something.
down the road. Yeah.
Keep working on it. It's an unnecessary charge. Have motion to table,
Motion.
Second,
motion table,
Doesn't matter.
okay. Okay, 5E, discussion and consideration and recommendation of disposal of unit 68. Dump truck that the utility board use it, what do you use it for? Dave use it for, or the water, and who drives it? Who usually drove it, or?
Or is it just sitting?
Is it Boston, is that what we're talking about?
It's like use that all like when they like stuff. All stuff.
Yeah. We have 2014.
It's the one.
Yeah, currently I don't know who uses that for plowing. I don't even know if anybody does buy it.
We couldn't even use it last year because the box was so rotten anyway.
So life cycle on it just kind of expired out on it, cost to repair. So when we dispose of that, then
There was no loading.
don't get, sell it.
There was no loading in it, and even using the dump box on it.
Oh, shit.
It's not bad.
Okay. But I feel comfortable.
Do we junk that then, or do we have people that would buy it for just parts or?
They've got an offer from the salvage yard for 2,750 just on the mechanic's initial call out to get an offer to dispose it.
Yeah, as long as the truck's functioning, there's always somebody that will buy it. And if it's replacing it, then somebody can easily do that. Or somebody can just weld it back up.
that was the other, we were talking about it.
Be a good school.
School shop project, you know, I mean, they got that new shop down there. That'd be something that, you know, just donate to them and, I mean,
If they don't drive it operated, I think just because we've got the mechanic's recommendation that it's not safe to be operated or driven by anyone. As long as there was some.
That would
sort
take
of understanding
liability
that they
off
would
of that
know.
though, if they, you know, if we decided that that's an option to donate that. Cause you'd still have to retitle it over.
Yeah,
Is that something the city's done in the past or? Are you trying to find that?
Not that I'm aware of, but I just think if you did, whatever avenue you go to, you want to sign a release waiver.
Yep.
sure, absolutely. I was just thinking, you know, a project, yeah, I mean, most of the young kids don't know how to fix anything, you know. So if you have a shop class, you know, we got a new building down there. What would they be willing to do? What would they like to do? Do they want to just work with new stuff, or are they gonna try to show? You know, so,
Is it a single axe or tandem axe?
so, yeah, I'd probably recommend getting rid of it and then, see if anybody wants to use it. Jeff said he's talking to shop class, see if they'd be interested.
Well, I can give you a Dave Winifred's information, he handles. stuff.
Yeah, he was the one instructor for.
I mean, I don't have a problem with that.
I mean,
That'd be good for kids to learn.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, you know, I mean, you got a piece of junk,
Well seasoned.
well seasoned, well used. Well used.
I don't know how that works for like spreading it off. If it goes into a donation or like, do we have to have like,
We would have to check about whether or not we could donate, because we can't donate any funds or anything to any other organizations with public money, so we'd have to make sure that there was no stipulations on that for purposes, but
Could that be something that we ask the auditors when we talk to them about some of the other stuff that we were discussing?
Okay. Just the motion with disposal.
Yeah, definitely do that.
Resource with the city or is this just a sole asset of the utility board?
this is an asset for the utility board. It was purchased by the utility board at an auction, back in 2014.
Okay, is there any plan to replace it? At this time?
Or was it just like a spare?
Yeah, I think it was just an old,
Much after we got that new one.
That's where we get the new one that's.
They have enough trucks, I guess, like.
It's just, you know, so it's not, in my opinion, it sounds like it just needs to be disposed of, and if, you know, we need to, you know, engage the company, the salvage yard, you know, it's probably best, you know, I guess, you know, let the school wants to engineer the transmission, but, it might be worth, then it may not be worth transporting the rest of it to the salvage yard, but, I mean.
I think it's still drivable. It's still run, but
It runs, but there's no recommendations to have anybody drive it.
not on a public roadway. I think was the
oh, and I read.
terms that we used.
Okay,
I mean, now we did find somebody to donate.
Probably just need to have
Junk.
junkyard come up.
okay.
They're gonna have a lot. Yeah, but it can be fixed. I know. It can.
Anyway, let's get back, we just vote to get rid of it, and then we can figure out what the best option for it here.
Yep, well, if you get rid of it, it already takes taxes off it, or you don't have to buy plates, you don't have to insure it, you don't,
Yeah.
it's just one more thing that
Saves us
you
money.
save money by getting rid of it.
Yeah, so, all right, motion to dispose of unit 68,
So we're gonna dispose of it via the route of the salvage yard?
or best whatever best option. I mean, this is disposal, I don't, and self-injector for, not even try to school or not.
I think at this point, like, I'd love to do the school thing, but with the paperwork and the asking, I think it's something that if we go through further, we can ask them for other things down the road. But let's just get rid of
And
it.
we don't even know if that
And I
is
think
gonna be ready anyway.
if there's anything else that needs to go to school,
Yeah, consider.
maybe we should talk to the shop teacher
Yeah,
and see what he would be looking for in any
Mhm.
project before we go with this.
No, and like certain things, and I know that, and again, it goes back to, we gotta see if there are things we can donate. The prior company I worked for, we used to donate like tools and, you know, we just,
Yeah,
we phased them out, just got new ones, there was nothing wrong with them, but like, here, you guys want this? You know,
Mhm.
they'll take whatever they can get.
yeah.
Are we required to receive sealed bids for disposal?
So it depends on the value. I'm sure this one is well past its depreciation value. There's probably nothing left, that would give it any market value. We would have to receive bids for. It wouldn't meet that threshold. Typically, yes, we would have to for surplus equipment. But I don't think in this case that is anything that we need to worry about. It usually is based on market value and whatever the state threshold is for bidding.
So,
I will ask the auditor about the option of donation, just so we have that answer, on equipment, because I don't know if it follows the same path as funds. It very well could, which would make it, not an option for donating anything. So it'll be good just to have that answer, so I can follow up on that.
okay,
The other option is public surplus, like Davenport does in several other cities in the state. And then that helps you remove the liability as well. And then High Bidder gets it. So if 292 wanted it at that price, they can just hop on there and bid it. You never know what it might bring.
I mean, $2,700 isn't a bad price point when we already originally purchased it 10 years ago for 13.
Mhm.
I mean,
Yeah.
Pay for it, so.
yeah, it's done its job.
Okay,
So motion to approve disposal of unit 68 to the salvage
I'll second.
for that change.
Voice vote?
Aye.
Under item 6 here, any outages from the electrical?
No outages. We've just been doing a bunch of general maintenance. We wrapped a full change out at the end of the week, last week, off of Fred Vista Drive and South Fifth Street. We've since done, we moved on to some more underground projects. We've taken scheduled outages and updated some, old steel pedestals with, ones that are more safe to work in and stuff, and, reconditioned some transformers too, so.
Okay, and I start pulling the price forward. Okay, that was your, any department updates or?
That's all.
All together, all right.
So,
Thanks, Colin.
Yep, thank you. On to the water department. Item 7A, consideration approve a agenda quote for repair of wall 2 motor in the amount of $4,725.
Couple of questions on that. This motor, I'm sure, has been rebuilt in the past. Was it by the same company, Jonda? I read the report, they said, you know, on inspection, they did a pulse impulse that failed on the windings, and they want to rewind it. My question is did they rewind it last time, and then how many years did we get out of it since the last time it was rebuilt?
I think well 2 was actually the first one. Was it in 2019 or 2020? I think we had that one pulled and rebuilt. So I would say this is the second time in 5 years then that this one's been pulled and rebuilt. As far as the maintenance that they did 5 years ago, I do not know the full detail of what they had done to that motor. But yeah, Yonda is pretty much the company that we send all of our motors and pumps to for rebuild and rehab.
So I just was curious on how long we've been getting at these rebuilds, and you know, this one here, was there anything else found during this inspection with the well, or as far as the impeller or anything else?
And that was in last week's, they had all kinds of pictures of it last meeting, like,
I apologize, it's on vacation that weekend, I missed that one, but,
yeah.
okay, well, that helps answer that, but, I was just wanting to know how long we were getting for these units, that's been going out for rebuild.
Yeah. We'd have to look into it. I don't think we'd hear is been around that. Had all the facts on those. So, yeah. So, motion to repair well 2 motor.
Motion.
Second.
It's still in the shop, correct? It hasn't been reinstalled, it's still in the shop, correct?
Correct.
Yeah.
The reinstallation will happen, about the third week of
Right.
September. currently.
Cahoy will be down, our materials are in route to Cahoy, then Cahoy has some stuff they need to do to that materials when they get it.
Okay,
And then they're gonna be down here the second or third week of September.
so the point will do the pump part and then the motor will go on.
When they come in, can you, ask them like when they rebuild something, can they give you specifics of what they rebuilt? And,
More like the schematics of what they're
Yeah,
doing.
I
that
mean,
type of-
what are they exactly rebuilding on each
I'm
time?
sure that we can take that information.
Yeah, I mean, just so we know that, all right, it's gonna last 4 years.
Right.
We know by stats that we have that it's gonna take 4 years, so we're gonna start planning 3 to 4 years that we're gonna need to have this pump rebuilt and we're gonna have to have that
And
rebuilt.
that's kind of the rotation on right now. So every year there's one well and one high service getting pulled and rebuilt. So we're on that rotation now. So it is like every 4 years, there's a high service and a well that's getting rebuilt. So,
But are they the windings, are they the shafts, are they, you know, I mean,
right.
According to the quote, it said the stator winding, so they're gonna rewind it and then go through the rotor and, the shaft for rebalancing, and I wasn't sure if I saw anything about the bearings on it, but typically that would be part of, so, again, it just doesn't appear that they're gonna replace the windings within the stator.
Yeah, it's got new bearings on there.
Yeah, I understood that, but I mean, just so we keep track of it, so each time that we pull one, we got this, you know, we're seeing where this is all going, and what we're gonna need.
what I would get for the line there. You know, make sure that, you know, who's doing this, we're getting the life expectancy that we should expect.
Exactly.
Yeah, versus a new motor, like, you know, like if it's, what's the cost, if, you know, benefit
Yep.
of, and if it's gonna keep breaking, you know,
Yeah.
is there something different that we need to look at and do?
And I think the engineering report specifically for well two, we're getting to the end of its useful life. It's
kind
not,
of expectancy.
yeah.
And as a well entirely, so, I mean, that motor's probably working triple time just to get the amount of water we're getting out of it now. So I mean, that motor's seeing a lot more usage just because of the deteriorating state of well two.
So that engineering will also help us to identify a location for a new well that we'll be able to.
But until we have that, we gotta do something.
Yeah, good. Water in the tower.
Well two is used in the winter time, which is our lowest usage, so we try to doctor it where well two isn't getting counted so much,
Yeah,
so.
okay. Back to item 7A, motion to repair well two motor,
Motion?
second. Grizzly second, voice vote,
I,
aye,
I,
motion carries. Okay, item 7B, this is consideration to approve purchase of a hybrid flushing pressure testing kit in the amount of, same amount as the, amazing,
63,
63 cents more.
Yeah,
I'm gonna explain there, keeping with
yeah,
that.
these, so it's not just one.
No.
There's a few items that are on that list. The diffusers would, there's 2.5 diffuser, there's 2.5 inch diffusers that would go on every truck that's used while flushing. That would just better track the usage that we're going through while we're flushing.
Also measure the amount of gallons coming out.
And then we can start getting a better system knowledge of our PSI throughout the system. We have, I think we have an old study, I don't know who conducted it, but there's only like 10 hydrants that got tested through our entire system.
Mhm.
So this would allow us to go through and actually test our entire system on our own, rather than having somebody do.
So this kit, can you still do, if I remember right, you do more than one hydrant on that, when you start going hydrant to hydrant, you keep. Are you flushing, do you have just one open at a time, or do you open multiple ones across?
So as flushing, so we have like a parent flushing box, it's a hydrant at the end of our route.
Yeah,
And then we flush from the treatment plant towards that box, so it's constantly pulling fresh water.
okay,
And then you go every other, so spring has every other, and then the fall is the ones that didn't get flushed in the spring.
okay,
So, and as you're turning down an open hydrant, the next guy is turning these on, so water's positive flow toward the next hydrant.
okay, so,
So each guy needs a diffuser.
yeah, so this, you need two, one for each hydrant, while you're doing it.
And most of the time, we have 3 guys flushing.
Yeah.
And then based on the information that we got from ISG for the free chlorine that we'll do in the fall. We would like to better track those numbers because the flushing is gonna consume a lot of water now.
that's what I was
Just
gonna ask. Yeah.
because the duration of the flush, both while we're flushing and like how long it's gonna take to flush. Yeah, it'd be better for us to better track that water, especially for our water loss report.
Mhm.
Because I mean, we're gonna go from using close to 100,000 on a flush to probably 3-4 on a flush. So it's gonna put a tax on our system, so we want to be able to track.
Gotcha, so you can get the amount you need out and then shut it down.
And then the other one is a 4.5, which we would use that. We like to flush out a 4.5 because we get so much more
Mhm.
water flow from those, but that unit is obviously, it's like $2,000 for just the 4.5 unit.
And then it's something you know other cities use, but, yeah,
And how long do these kits usually last? I mean, is this something, obviously they're gonna be good to use?
Yeah, so these ones, like, I think only components that might need to get replaced are the gauges,
Mhm.
which they're probably just standard pressure gauges that we could probably go purchase from Menards.
Mhm.
So if the gauges ever freeze and break or they just lose efficiency, then we can just go get new gauges and Run right back in.
Okay,
And once we utilize it, then we'll have a better idea of time.
Right.
You know, to kind of, in the event that they would fail, you would know.
and
Is this information that is currently being tracked now? Is there a spreadsheet or is there?
So yes, and
How's it being done correctly and is it being tracked as far as pressure and how much is required?
right, so that's what that sheet that we initially have right now with the 10 hydrants that have been tested throughout the system, they show the system pressure, static and flow. So we would take the flow pressure and then just multiply by the times and the gallons that we think should be coming out of that hydrant. So it's based off of duration and pressure. So we like to think that we're getting as accurate as we possibly could, but
it's surprised with the actual numbers.
and we did send some numbers off the ISG, for a hydrant down on Daniel Store. And then they said that based off of that sheet, the numbers are favorable. So I think we were doing diligence on tracking, but this is gonna help us pinpoint it.
So this will help increase the efficiency as well. So it may not require, it's not the amount of time that was being done before if you achieve what you needed to achieve.
You'd be able to do a better job while you're doing it, instead of just guessing.
Right.
I think it's a good tool.
We have, I know there was multiple items, as part of this bid. Do we have any of those right now? Or is this, is all of those items currently not being utilized?
So we currently have just regular diffusers that have nothing, all they do is directional. Like, it's a directional path to shoot the water out of a hydrant, nothing tracks them. So these diffusers would be able to track the amount of water actually coming out of them, rather than just being a directional tool. So currently we have nothing.
Like each of the items as part of this bid is things that we currently don't have.
Correct.
Okay.
Mike, do you have anything else or any other questions?
No, that's all I have for that.
It matches fire. Hydrant color.
I'm moving to approve that.
Okay,
Second,
second. Voice vote.
aye.
Aye. Mike? Aye, okay. Motion passes. On item C, consideration to approve purchase of power tool set for the water treatment plant and department trucks. Below 4984. 46. It is a new Milwaukee tool and it's a revision here. From what originally was sent out.
Correct.
He can just tell me this morning, he got some free ones with the new respirators.
Yeah, we spent enough money that Uline sent us some free tools
Okay.
for being such good customers. No, the water department has had just deteriorated, aged Makitas for our power tools. Obviously, at the time, they were used for every bit of maintenance the water department has, so they've all been submerged at one point. They've all sat in the treatment room for extended periods of time, so the internal components of those power tools are probably shots only one use away from exploding for the ones that do work. We currently probably have only one or two operating batteries out of the 10 or 12 we actually have. The chargers, we only have one operating charger, so.
Well, I stopped with that. I kidded, none of these tools had cords on, like when I was a kid. We didn't have it. And
So I don't think any of us have a problem with that, what we'd like to do. And even some of these, a lot of this comes in kits, which makes it cheaper. I think that from Home Depot.
And we can.
So if we can, we've got,
I know we get our stuff from Bumps Supply.
like White Cap is usually,
Let's get a couple, like, let's see what they can do for.
Yeah, I can get as many bundles together as we possibly can and then send those back.
I'm all for Milwaukee.
Milwaukee.
Yeah.
What do you think, Mike?
Yeah. Yeah.
Think about that today?
Bryce and I briefly talked about it. So if we did the two workbench thing, they would have to meet at the corners for us to be able to use the drawers, so they might extend over, so then there'd be a basically a cutout on the back end of the.
Yeah, it's like if we put another top on, like. Yeah.
I mean, it would expand storage for us,
Uh-huh.
but I think the original the asking purpose of the newer desks would be for people that can actually, because I've been taking my tests and stuff here, so then we would have the capability of having guys take tests on the water plant and just have a little more like educational workspace rather than hardware workspace.
Yeah, what I propose is they, like, the workbench and use it as a desk up front there too, and could roll it. Workstation or whatever. So, you can sit at it and see what, put a top on it, like bar and extend it over the edge. Just a, because it's a lot cheaper than that desk, what we got. You have updates on the desk and stuff too.
Let's back up and finish this one first.
Okay, but it's all part.
But on these tools, do you wanna, one of us can text you a couple places
Yeah.
to call for quotes? You're fine with that?
Yeah, I'll do.
And then by next meeting, if we have those, then we'll get them. So one of us, it's,
Just to verify the pricing and see if there's anything that they can get, or, because sometimes if you buy so much, they toss in stuff too, so.
Right.
Again, Home Depot won't do that, but if we're buying from a supply house.
Yeah, I'll definitely.
Yeah.
and I think like Plum probably is like White Cap and a few others, I think. I mean, back in the day, they do that. Like I said, these come in like kits, the full thing, and usually you get a 3 saws with it. I mean, you get 2 or 3 things with
The more
it.
the merrier.
Well, I know, so the shop, here's the
Mhm.
shop. How do they get those reps to go?
Through one.
Is
It used to be individual, we used to get them all through that, and, but now they got through, right through either Wind Supply or I think both of them have. Then it's our multiplier.
It's like Metco or anything, it's like individual people
Yeah.
can just.
I mean, they do have somebody that works within that, but they work with all of the houses and stuff. So the rep will come and like bring, like they used to bring like a trailer down.
Right.
And then you could just wander in this wonderful trailer and pick up your.
Christmas time for having.
Yes, yeah.
No, we talked about that before and just like getting you like tools necessary to like, you know, get like a rep or get into some of these things, because if you know, this is something consistent, we're gonna buy like across the board. I mean, we're gonna need this stuff. It
Right.
always doesn't have to be in these huge volumes either, but they do offer that and you get discounts, things like that. And just giving you those, like I said, tools to.
Right.
Sometimes they even bring a lunch.
Yeah, that's, I mean, and that's, I think other departments would be into that as well.
Yeah.
Even if they might not purchase Milwaukee, but they still like.
Yeah.
Yeah, in the future.
Because I know that's what we've done with the other ones, and then bring everything out and then.
Okay. Okay.
Is your, all your stuff in Milwaukee?
Yeah, and our vendors that we
And
go
it's-
through, they have their own promotions and stuff like
Yeah.
that. So.
Is the
And who do you use?
two mechanics.
Kirby's, the ones that sells electric distribution, I think that's what they do. They sell them a lot, they probably think Chinese car. Because they can get along to and stuff.
If you have a contact for them, pass it on to Keegan.
Yep.
Too. I mean, we're the same.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, and then we'll, like I said, we'll text you. The other 2.
Yeah, I'll contact them, they when they call, and maybe get as much stuff on as possibly can.
It's worth asking.
Take money, a motion to table till next time.
Yeah, we'll get requotes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So a motion to table it.
Table.
Okay, second,
Second.
okay, voice vote,
Aye.
aye. Table till next time. Item 7D, updated information on the trade value of the current mower for the purchase of a new mower.
Yeah, P and K said they would give us $1,500 for the Hustler.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's a good trade for how old and
Mhm.
the status of that mower.
They come look at it, or they-
Yeah, they came look at it,
Oh.
they came and drove around, they started the mower, they did all their
Oh.
diagnostic stuff to it.
What year is that old mower?
Oh,
Quite a
I
few.
forget what that one said.
I don't remember either.
15,
Yeah, 2015,
2015,
2016, something.
so it's coming on 10.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think it's coming up on 10 years.
1,500 probably.
And
in
then
reality.
I also have a quote for larger decks. The last 3 weeks, Parks has been using it almost every day
Or,
because their mowers have been down. I don't know if
I've heard that they wouldn't be opposed to just keeping it as a spare in case one of theirs is in the shop. They obviously realize there's obviously the motors, that's issue.
Right.
Just to get somebody through the day or something, just heard it. And it's just, so.
that is something that Tony and I had really talked about was potentially keeping that mower and the waste pipe would just store it down there as a secondary or just a backup rather than trading
If
it.
we don't trade, can you get a better deal?
Yeah,
That's the way, I mean, they always trade one way or another. They either basically make it look like you're getting a good trade, or if they drop the price on the other one, if you don't trade. So
right.
just ask.
No, I can push that forward and say, I think we're gonna trade it in. You do for us.
They don't want more. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, they don't.
Yeah.
And if it's, and like Tom said, if it's of any value, it might get somebody through the day.
Yeah, this
That's what-
particular mower came from wastewater first, right? She was,
Yeah,
the water.
yeah, they're only gonna give them 1500, yeah, it sounds like they don't want it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So
I mean,
if they knock
to
another
take it
$1,000,
off our hands, 1,500 sounds good, but.
You look at backyard being gate on the
Yeah.
registry, that's not. That's-
In the-
that's-
It's 72.
It is a seven.
And it, oh, okay.
But then obviously the largest deck that I got, that we can get from B and K on that mower is a 60.
Yeah, so you got a big decks on here.
Yeah, because I just talking to the Parks guys, there's another bar thing. They're like, if we're ever gonna buy you guys, we'd like it to be a 60.
So,
I think they said they wouldn't, but I think they still would because sometime, for some reason lately, like it seems like 1 or 2 mowers have been down for Parks for the last couple of weeks.
how many more they got? You know, I didn't, I think.
So how does that work for, like, when we borrow equipment, like, is that our mower versus the, and do we have to turn around and just sell it to the city? Or like, how does that work? Is it separate or is it?
It's separate for, actual assets and accounting for it. So when the wastewater department gave it to the water department, it transferred from an asset of the sewer department to an asset of the water department on our books.
Okay,
So if you were going to give it back to the sewer department or streets, we would have to transfer the asset over.
okay.
But I mean, as far as borrowing day to day,
No,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yep.
I just want to make sure that we, for auditing purposes, when, again, that we make sure that we have everything tracked correctly.
yep, so
Okay.
then, if that was the decision you decided to go, we would work with the auditors and transfer that asset over books to the property department.
Alright.
So I think it would be a pretty big shock to go from a 72-inch to a 48.
You're gonna be very unhappy. I really feel.
Just in the 60-inch range.
Yeah,
So I guess, yeah, I would recommend getting the 60 at this point.
so why can P and K only do a 60? Is there, I
I
mean,
think for that style mower, that's only,
is that all the bigger it's allotted?
I'm sure there's like another version of it, it's like the Z500s or something like that. I'm sure.
You go more about the $12,000 to $15,000 range when you make that move.
they're
Yeah, Yeah,
commercial.
because like, we have like, Blackmarks, the Laser Z, and like, I think mine's a 72 that I use.
I think if we went to the more commercial sized mowers, it probably would be a standard 72.
Yeah. But they are a little more money.
Twice the cost.
Yeah.
Looking at it.
Okay.
Yeah, like I said, for I think the 60 would be beneficial to more than just the.
Which, how much space are you guys not like does a 60,
Yeah, I'm just talking to the guys, they said the 60 would.
I mean.
because sometimes getting around things and stuff, so 72 might be a pain in the wazoo too, to back up and move around. And, you know,
Yeah, well, the 0 is gonna get easy,
yeah,
but the 60, it's still a short time of what we are.
Okay.
So.
Could come with any kind of for warranty or I don't know what time they're offered.
there's a manufacturer warranty on
I
it.
did not see a P and K. I guess I didn't really go into that for what they, as far as the warranty.
Okay.
Yeah, because who does the maintenance, like the oil changes and stuff on that, like, does all that, okay.
John Deere. It's John Deere, right?
Yeah,
I got this price because that's everything else.
everything comes from there
Okay.
and everything.
Everything else, we did one Kubota mower. Everything else is Deere.
So, but I like Deere the best.
It's
Must be,
universal.
yeah, it's standard.
So when you check on the other price without the trade-in and see if you can get them lower, if you check on like the manufacturer's warranty.
Yeah.
Just make sure you guys are covered. Motion to table,
Motion to table that. Second,
Second.
Jeff second, voice vote.
aye.
Aye. Motion to table passes. Department update from Keegan.
Yeah, operation wise, we're still doing great. The desk and windows, having trouble getting some contractors to get back to me, having some construction. We're very prompt and they put us as a priority rather than just moving. Obviously, yeah, I understand that a lot of guys have projects going on right now, but, there's one contractor that has kind of just blown us off at this point.
Yeah.
And then another guy he specializes in windows. And then when I kind of asked him to price the desk, he said that really wasn't his realm of work, but he would price it for us. I haven't gotten there. So I have a quote for windows from one guy. Henningsen Construction has a quote. Henningsen was still just around $3,000 lower on their bid than Quad City Construction was. So I have a good feeling about Henningsen Construction, so I feel like it'd be.
Quite a bit of difference.
Yeah.
Did you give a cutoff time to the other contractors?
No, I was kind of just hoping that they just took it seriously and then move forward.
I mean, it's been at least
Couple weeks.
4 weeks.
Is it
Is that what you're about to do?
desk and window, yes.
Yeah.
So, I wanted to talk to Quality Construction Services, they're a local company, and they do a lot of work with America as well, and that might be right up their alley for smaller type items. I'm not sure they can help with the windows, but as far as the desk goes, that might be right up their alley, and I wanted to speak with them. I've been tied up the last couple of weeks, but, I'd like to try to see if that's a resource for us.
Okay. So,
But as of now, we have a full bid that's half of what
Right.
we had before.
okay, man, so we have a good bid so far, like, so.
Okay.
But we'll wait, it's not a rush.
That almost pays for your power tools.
See how that works? 16 quotes?
3,000 saved.
Yeah.
That's your econ.
Did you have a chance to open the sub panels to look at the copies?
The two general record panels, that we could actually access, everything's fine in there.
Okay.
Yep.
Not roading like that.
Obviously, the other ones, you have to shut all them down to even open those, because it's
Oh,
48 volts in there.
Oh,
Don't,
Yeah.
yeah.
that's the rules, yeah.
That's-
Okay. Okay, I just was curious, just want, something to sneak up on Allison, you know.
So Mike, will you be able to contact them like next week sometime, Quality Services, or?
Yeah, as soon as I get back home, I walked over to their house, just before I left, and I didn't catch nobody home, but, yeah, they're a neighbor that they own it right there off Black Hawk Trail, and again, they do a lot for Mid-America and others, so, just wanna reach out to them real quick, see if there's any interest.
Sure.
And does Travis Henningson's, does their bid expire?
I don't think their bids set up a bid or not.
I mean, just to make sure we're,
30 days, yeah.
yeah, someone will do 30, 60.
Likely not to wait, outside of that.
Anything else, Keegan, or that it for the department?
His bid doesn't say anything about expiring.
We're good there.
I'm just waiting to it.
I passed my distribution grade 2 today. So I'll move on. To
Congratulations.
thank you. I'll move on to my treatment. I plan to take a preparatory class. 'Cause treatment's a little more in-depth than distribution is. So then I will be able to sign any, documents coming out of the water department, right? Because I know Tony's one of our signatures, and I think Greg was our distribution signature, so I can be the distribution signature now, and then after I pass the treatment, I'll just be the signature for the water department.
Okay.
But other than that, smooth sailing, keep it moving.
Good deal. All right. On the administrative,
Yep, just a few quick things for the September 3rd meeting. I will not be here. We have committee of the whole and city council at the community center that night because of Labor Day. So,
Tuesday.
yep. But I'll have your agenda and everything ready. I'll be available all day before so I can answer questions and everything. So should be pretty much business as usual.
When should we have them same time on Tuesday and Tuesday, or should we have maybe that have one here, one there?
You guys are at 5 o'clock here
Right.
and they're at 6 and 7. It's the first meeting, so they'll have a committee of the whole at 6 and then city council at 7.
Yeah.
So I mean, I can be here for like the first 20 minutes or half an hour.
Okay.
Which, I mean, your meetings, it probably won't be much longer than that. It should be a fairly short agenda unless new
Yeah.
things pop up.
Okay.
We got the review recommendation back from ISG on both the AT&T, and we've already touched base on the Verizon lease proposal. Same with the AT&T proposal. They would recommend holding off on negotiating until that contract term is closer.
Mhm.
But their lease does expire on 11/7 of 2025, so we're about a year out. So that one will pop up sooner than what Verizon would. Yep. In our Compass contract negotiations that Ehlers and Cooney is handling for us, we did give a counter proposal back to Compass, and we'll be meeting with them next week on that counter proposal. Right now, they proposed an increase from $1.10 per megawatt hour to $1.38. And then there would also be an additional cash deposit on top of what our annual deposit is with MISO right now. So we'd be going from our current deposit of $309,000 to $600,193 between the cash and MISO deposit. So we've countered with them to do have our rate increase at $1.23 per megawatt hour and base it on 1 month of a 36-month average instead of 2 with a 3-year agreement rate lock. So we'll give a little more detail and background on that when we get closer to an agreement, but that's where our kind of proposal is at, and we'll meet on that again next week. Backflow prevention, the staff worked together. We've put all of the records that we could locate into a database, and Keegan is reaching out to different service vendors to get additional records on those. There is some monitoring requirements and compliance requirements with the EPA. So once we have all of that data together, we can be able to send that report in and be in compliance with their backflow prevention monitoring. So we're still continuing to work on putting those records together. The lead copper service line replacement project, our initial inventory is due to the DNR on October 16th of this year. We've got about 33% of our inventory identified. We have about 552 service lines left to verify. So again, the staff came together on that. We've identified where those service lines are, and we are going to split it up with as many employees as we can get that will spend some time on it. And we're just going to call all the numbers. We've got emails and numbers to call out and request that we get the material of their service line, and then hopefully that'll knock out most of them, and if we have to, then they'll go and dig them up and see what they are, but hopefully we won't get to that point.
No, I think there's lead lines in town.
There's probably gonna be a few, just because before that, it's like before 1988 up until so anything before 1950 is most likely, it's like 1955 to most likely lead. So
Yeah.
it's throughout town that we're building in that time range. So I wouldn't be surprised if there's a few.
That's gonna be a cost to the city or the cost of homeowner?
So the homeowner will have to replace that.
Okay,
I don't know if we would establish that timeline that in 3 years, the homeowner would have to take it upon themselves to replace that line.
that's something their homeowner insurance would cover or no?
It's not covered by the service line insurance. We asked that, we are gonna have some galvanized too, so that will have to be replaced also. The state will probably mandate like a 10-year replacement plan, but depending on how many service lines we have, they're gonna have sooner than that.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, homeowners, they're shocked to find out they had lead.
I don't know that we have any verified lead yet. We've got just a couple of galvanized.
It should have been.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's some time on more, but galvanized.
We are gonna have some people
Yeah.
that probably just didn't. If that's gonna be where we're to get people to be comfortable with us coming in, they're not gonna verify that rather than bringing it up. I had spoke with Greg Metternich, who's the superintendent of water in North Liberty. And he said they did, after 3 separate visits, they didn't answer, that's when they dug up their yard. He said 9 times out of 10, when they pulled up their back in their front of the house, people came and
Mhm.
let them, like, kid, don't dig up my yard. So then people would give them access or what. Another one is, I talked to the superintendent of Iowa City. They're not doing any extra efforts. All they're doing is submitting a survey to their consumers. The DNR will accept a yes or no survey. All it has to say is your service line made out of lead, yes or no?
But how many people really, I mean, I would,
Right. But they take it, so like, even if somebody didn't know, they selected yes, the DNR will accept that as proof.
And how,
How does it work on home inspections going forward though, too? Like, is it something that,
when you saw.
like, I'm wondering if it's not gonna be a mandated home inspection line requirement? And you're gonna have to end up, and like, that's gonna be one way that they're gonna force it too. You know, is that you can't sell the home if it's got this lead or galvanized. And then it's gonna force people to.
I don't think most people know the difference between galvanized pipe and lead pipe.
How do you
I mean,
tell?
Right.
Yeah,
So I'm just saying, you know,
it
but.
should be stamped. It should be labeled,
So that's where you say, if it's not,
yeah,
you have to stay for it.
Yeah.
It's gonna be
Yeah.
Yes.
So,
yeah.
and any that don't have anything unknown is gonna be considered like the DNR. So
Okay,
hopefully we'll get as many as we can
yes.
and you said we have 552 of those?
left to verify. Yeah.
By then, again,
October 16th, yeah. So
but I think we have.
we'll be able to.
we have a comprised list of those. Yeah, just like start cold calling.
They're all
Yeah.
down here.
You know, the ones that we need to verify stuff, they're sure that are higher likelihood, so. And then once we get through that process, we'll go door to door.
Yeah,
And we've been working with 120 Water and getting our letters to them too, so. Taking multiple avenues, trying to get it taken care of. The last update would just be Lenny's gonna be attending the meeting on the 3rd, just to give an update on the 16th Avenue Tower project. And ISG will also be doing the site visit with the water department, for the preliminary engineering report. They will be here from September 4th through potentially September 6th for that.
okay. Okay, thanks for those updates. And I have a motion to adjourn.
motion.
Motion, second,
Second.
voice vote.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes, meeting is over at 6:01 on August.